Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. It's me again, once again, the human engineer. We are on the program Mindset Education and Human Engineering in Uganda. The last time we met or we had conversation on this topic mindset, we were looking at what is mindset, because I needed to define it and put that aside. Then we go to how our mindsets caused, what influences them, and what types do we have, and maybe the importance or how they affect our daily lives. But before that, uh, I was chatting with somebody before I started this, so that about two stories on mindset, and whether it was true or not, a story is told about the ancient China and how the emperor decided that they wanted to cordon the empire and cut off from the outsiders or the outside influence. They thought they could enjoy life to the maximum, and the emperor decided from now on nobody is supposed to come from outside and disturb us. We have our money, we have our gold, we have our women, we have our jewel, we have our food, we have our peace. We are going to cover up this empire, and we live in peace thereafter. And yes, it almost happened. The walls, perimeter walls, were put on the empire. The whole area of the empire was put on a perimeter fence with electric wires on top. And on top of that, there were askaris. There were security guards with heavy weaponry. You can imagine the situation that was at hand. And the empire was the empire that was supposed to live in peace. Almost tried it for like months. But I want to tell you that on top of all that, the monies, the jewel, the women, the ivory and gold that was in the empire, and then the security that was put across, that empire was invaded 3 times in a year. People came and get in there 3 times in a year. But on the third time, the empire had to decide to make an investigation on how do these things come about. I wanted to find that the footsteps were passing through the gate. Can you imagine? It was found out that the people who invaded that empire and stole things from inside and killed some of the people that were not liked, the guys passed through the gate. And how did they do it? They bribed the gatekeepers. And the lesson that we were supposed to pick from that story, true it may be or not, is that the ancient China emperor and his empire managed to build everything but the character of the gatekeepers. Maybe some other people inside there. And that's where we can tell that you can have everything, you can build whatever you want to build with metal, but if you don't build somebody's mindset and put a character that is reasonable, it will let you down. No wonder we are on this topic of mindset and how it affects. Last time I told you that mindset is the engine that drives why people do what they do. And imagine if people don't know about something like that, what it is and what it entails and how it affects them. The other story, as we close from the stories, and maybe I should have first told you that a mindset is a mental framework or perspective that influences how somebody perceives themselves and other people and the world around them. That's the definition of a mindset, or a summary of a mindset. For me, I like to call it the way somebody thinks. But again, the other story on mindset, and then we rest the stories and we get back to work, is about the preacher. I always talk about that preacher who wanted to prepare someone on Sunday morning, and his wife had gone to collect some grocery somewhere, and he left him with a 5-year-old kid, and here he was a preacher with a 5-year-old kid and not prepared to go for preaching, no sermon yet. So he devised means on how to prevent this kid from disturbing him, and he had to, when he was thinking about what to do with this kid, there was a magazine there on his table, and on that magazine there was a group that shape of that sphere of the world. That's such a thing. He thought, if I tear this thing into pieces, 7 pieces of things, and then I go give this kid a test to put it back, a puzzle to put it back. By the time he's done, I'll be done with my sermon topic. He did that. He went, picked his son, put him in a room, gave him that tattered page of the magazine, and he said, make sure you put that word straight, and then come back and I'll buy you everything. He thought the mom would be back by then. And it took only 3 minutes. The wise guy, the wise son, had returned. He knocked, what is it? I have put it straight. And then the pastor was like, how could this be? How could this be true? He's like, let me see. And he found the globe was well put in its where it was supposed to be. And he's like, excuse me. He's like, how did you do this? The boy was like, before I had read that magazine, and behind this globe, there was a figure of a man. There was a man. So I thought if I could put the man straight, I had to put the arms, the head, the chest, and the legs, and the trousers. So instead of working on the world, I worked on the man, and the man straight. And I knew that if I put this man straight, the world will be straight. Then the preacher was like, this is going to be good. This is too good to be true. But it was true. Then he said, thank you very much. Get this, what you want. Go buy some ice cream. And the pastor was done with finding out what to preach. He gotten the message that if the man is right, his world will be right. Now we check it with yourself. If you think what you are doing are right, if they are right to the core, you will find that your world is a right world. Those are stories. And it's all specific about the mindset and how it affects us. Now, let me get back to, in a few remaining minutes, I wanted to go through the types of mindsets. And we specifically have like 4 types of mindsets. We are doing this specifically to make an informed space where somebody can search about what mindset is, what are the types. Yes, it is on the internet, but I wanted to put it specifically for our audience on mindset education and human engineering specifically. So we have like 4 types, it can be 5, but 4. One is the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is where somebody assumes that intelligence and intelligence is innate. He said that intelligence cannot be worked on. It is innate, it is unchangeable. And we have, when I go to the fixed mindset is when you think this one can't be done, this one will never be done, this one you are either born rich or you die poor. You are either born a leader or you will never be a leader. You are born with talent and they will never change. That's a fixed mindset. We get into it when you get to the importance and how they affect our lives. Then there is a mindset which is a growth mindset. Now, growth mindset assumes that intelligence can be changed with effort and learning and time. That nothing cannot be done. Yes, you will not become an Einstein or a Mike Jordan, but you can develop your potential however you are if you give it time and effort and learn. Then there is the type we call the positive mindset. Now that positive mindset, for it goes into optimism, resilience. It goes into well-being. You are hopeful that something, you have the faith. You have the hopes. That's a growth mindset. You have that one is a positive mindset. Then there is a negative mindset, and that's the reverse. That's where we have pessimism. That's where we have we call them cynicism. They only focus on problems. I hope it will. I think it is going to rain. You won't survive this. Your boss is going to kill you. I can't do this. That's a negative attitude, and we get into that maybe with time. But mainly to know that we have uh, we have a fixed mindset, we have a growth mindset, we have a negative mindset, and a positive and a negative mindset. There's also having a benefit mindset where somebody goes to the supermarket and instead of buying something which has a policy and paper that will affect the environment, they buy something which is in paper, workwear bag, and that bag will rot or can be recycled. Make sure they prevent help out on the environment. When you go with that mindset all the way, when you're going to that one, we call it the benefit mindset. And other are the types of mindset. And I want to, because of time, I'd like to cut this short, but I need to have an insight on the causes of mindset or how our mindsets formed. Of course, we have different causes. We have internal causes, we have external causes, we have what we call mindsets that are caused on the interrelationships and interconnections that we go through on a personal level. But if I may cross-check with my write-ups here, I say that on the internal basis, they are genetics. And I won't go there because I'm not a doctor, nor will I use my psychology to describe that. The genetics on how somebody is formed and what the family traits in the genetics, they influence how his mindset is built. Then there is brain development. Brainology, there's a part called brainology where people are tickled on how to have a certain state of mind. Then there is thought patterns. Thought patterns, that's where we have habitual negative self-talk that will create a negative mindset. The catastrophic thinking, where somebody doesn't see any good in anything, that type of thinking, whether it is in a family or, like we said, whether it is internal, it will create a much more negative mindset. Then we have external, and external is that where we find the upbringing and the family dynamics and the social bit of it. I'll get into explanation the next time I get on to getting deeper, but we are going to first have the introductions on as far as how mindsets are formed. So upbringing, the parenting styles, the family dynamics, the socioeconomics, all those shape somebody's mindset. Then there's culture and society. The values, the cultural values and norms. We all know these things, we just not mean to repeat them, but the culture, norms and values, if they are positive, you have positive. If they are negative, you will go negative. Then there is life experience. Like mine was changed by life experience. You reach somewhere, if you are traumatic events that happen, if there are significant relationships that you have, or the encounters that you may have, the major encounters in life, it changes the way you think. And then we have education and learning, where we go to school and they get into our heads, whether we learn in a positive way or a fixed way, it affects us. Then there is the interrelationships and social interactions that we have. All those affect us. That's where we have the relationship we have with families and friends and communities. They influence us. Then the role models. Today I was talking with somebody in the midst of water there, and he told me I grew up looking at our neighbors and our uncles. They were rich, and for us we were poor. And I was like, when I grew up, I need to not be a poor guy. And she was a rich guy in office, procurement officer. I was like, can you imagine mindsets are formed by such an instance? So there is a personal choices that we make, self-reflection. We call them goal setting, resilience and adaptability, the things we do. And then there is on the neuroplasticity, where we train our minds to get into knowing that some things can be done or something cannot be done. That one helps us to set our minds. But I wanted to end with this, the mindset shift, where we consciously say we're going to change our thought patterns. That's when a mindset can be formed in that way. And there's a combination of those soft skills we get, and we get to know even self-discovery. That self-awareness can make you change your mind from a negative or a fixed to a positive or a growth mindset. And we get into deeper details the next time. But on a mindset, I want this to get into your head that if you believe that you can do something, If you just believe that you can do something, you are always halfway there. And it doesn't matter whether it is negative or positive, or gross or fixed. If you believe that, you're halfway, 50% on that lane. Thank you very much for listening to our program, Mindset